Oh my God, there's both of us. Hey, stop it. Hey everyone, this is Mark Stevenson from Coldesi. Welcome to tonight's webinar
Yeehaw.
on applique, or what's it called?
Applique'd.
This applique. This is Don Copeland, who is an employee here at Coldesi, who does a lot of these things. These webinars for
That
us.
was the most unglamorous
Thank
introduction
you.
you've ever given.
I'm trying
Thank
to
you.
I'm trying to bring the level down, lower expectations just a little bit. What we're going to do today is talk to you about combining some of the technologies that we sell here, including DTG and the Pro Spangle, and the focus though is on the Avancé 1501C and what you can do with it in a mixed media situation. The first thing I'm going to do though is I am going to introduce you to a few of the resources that we've got available for you. You should be seeing your computer screen right now. I am going to give you a couple of tips to get the best experience out of the webinar tonight. And the first one is if you are on an iPad or an iPhone or your Android device and you're trying to watch this, it's not optimal. Okay, so when we switch back and forth between video and the computer screen, you will probably lose us, and it takes some time to come back if you can see it at all. In any case, if you lose audio or lose video, the only thing that we can suggest is that you click away and then click back again. That definitely does the trick. The other thing is if you have a slow computer connection, then I would call in and use your phone to take the pressure off your Wi-Fi a little bit. What you're looking at here is our CAS webinar site. I hope this is where you got your registration going for this webinar. What you'll see is our latest webinars. You'll see all the events we have scheduled. You can look at Coldesi's events, Coleman and Company's events, and when we partner with Deco Network, the online shopping cart system, we have webinars for those as well on the calendar. The next thing we've got for you is CAS Podcasts. We just finished one last night on pay-per-click advertising. So this is a great place to listen to your information. We do a lot of education here on CAS Podcast. That stands for Custom Apparel Startups. You can see the last one was Selling Online, where we did partner actually with Marco Pena from Deco Network, talked about that. We also did Getting Found Online, knowing your numbers, how much does it cost to get a customer, what's your profitability from a customer over a lifetime, talking about creating a great customer experience. There's a lot of basic business stuff in here that doesn't just apply to custom apparel, but to any business that you might have. If you don't like to listen but would rather read your podcast, just go down to the transcripts right here, and you can do that as well. This is our main YouTube channel. It's the Coldesi Coleman channel, and what you'll see is almost 700 videos from both Coleman and Company and Coldesi about everything from the brush and bake rhinestone system to a bunch of Avancé videos to DTG to Pro Spangle to cams, and a lot of educational videos as well. And our latest is if you just type in Coldesi webinars, you'll get our newer YouTube channel that just has webinar videos on it. So you'll see our startup embroidery and billing business, direct-to-garment printer, filling an order from start to finish, and all the other webinars that we managed to record here at Coldesi. The last thing I'm going to talk to you about is our Custom Apparel Startups Facebook page. I hope you're already members. If you're not, we've got 1,639 right now.
Oh, wow.
Which is amazing. All of these folks, that's over 1,600 people that are just like you. They're in the business, or they want to start a business, or they want to expand their business. And here is where you can come and ask questions. You also get a little insight into what happens here at Coldesi. For example, this picture right here is of our new machine prep room, which is just about complete. We promise we are going to have more ceiling tiles in there, but the guys are already using it thanks to you, our customers, keeping us busy. But you'll find other things like people put up their website links so we can check out their websites and get feedback. We talked about the Section 179 business tax benefits, that you can contact Coldesi Sales about. There's an ad for this webinar. Somebody figured out how to get a great image of a blinged out t-shirt and shared that with the group. There's just all kinds of stuff that will help you in your business. Really, if you're not a member, probably one of the best things that you can do for yourself to get started in business is to actually join the Custom Apparel Startups Facebook group. Okay, that is all I am going to say about that. And now I'm going to turn back on the camera, and I am going to wait with you and find out what the heck Don Copeland is going to talk about tonight.
There we go. Thank you, Mark. Thank you all for taking some time out of your busy schedule, especially here during Christmas season, which is I know it's pretty busy if you're already in the industry, to watch our webinar. It's kind of a mix mash of presentation on the Avancé itself, as well as a little bit of educational and a little bit of stretching, having some fun with some of the different products that we sell. If you watched last week's webinar, you may have heard that we kind of indicated we were going to play around a little bit with printing and application. So, I mean, before we get too much into the embroidery machine, let me go ahead and address what we've done, what we hope finishes up.
And with what?
Because we're like 6 minutes late getting started on this webinar because 4 minutes ago we were making sure it was 100% right. We're pretty busy this time of year, but I think we kind of nailed it.
Yeah.
What we've done is we've printed using a DTG printer, and we have then added to that some spangles.
Let's show them what we're talking
We
about.
started out with this is over here to my right is the DTG Viper 2. And what I did is I actually took a white t-shirt. I backed it using spray tack with some embroidery backing, and I printed out a Christmas tree. It's actually a public shareware Christmas tree. We printed out onto the white t-shirt and with the backing on it. Heat press it like we normally would to dry it. All right. Then we generated on the Pro Spangle here some transfers. Looks very simple. You'll see in a second here what they were for. Right? And I did 4 sets of them just because it was easy to do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to applique it to a shirt. What I did here, and I'll show you kind of the semi-finished product, I did cut the star off of the tree, all right, because it was of no use. We're actually going to sew an entire new star on. There's no need to have extra material underneath there. You see the back of it. That's just embroidery backing, all right? And if you look close, you can see the shine, right? You can see that pretty good, right? See the shine? That's the actual lines of the Pro Spangle we put on it. So right now, we've already used 2 decoration methods.
You printed with DTG to
And then we
create
added
the
the
graphic.
Bingo.
And that was, by the way, just a JPEG that we found online.
It was a public shareware. This is actually a legal graphic. You can go up and grab that.
We never do that. We never have legal.
Well, ever since that whole Playboy thing with you. But that's another
It's
story.
all Mickey Mouse and the Flintstones.
That's right. But so this is all done, and this is easy. This is something you can do without having to buy anything special. If you've got one of the hand bedazzler tools, if you have the
Glitz Up
tool, you can go in and you can hand place rhinestones on here instead of putting on a Pro Spangle. You don't have to buy specialty material. We actually played around with some of the tackle twill. The tackle twill didn't really like the ink as much as a t-shirt does. We know t-shirts work great. We printed on a t-shirt. Probably if you're doing this, you have some old t-shirts kicking around anyway. Print on the back of them. If you embroider, obviously you're going to embroider because you have an applique. You're going to use your backing. All you might have to do is buy some spray tack, which if you're doing applique anyway, you already have, just to give this some dimension. So it's got some tensility to it, and then we're going to applique it onto a shirt. So that's what this is going to be about from the educational side of it. It's also, from an educational standpoint, anytime you can separate yourself from the crowd, it's going to make you more viable as a business, make it more attractive. Literally, if you already have the printer and the embroidery machine, you could have somebody generate the bling for you. If you didn't want to do that, if you have glitter vinyl, you can use it, or you could have just added to this and sewn in with a metallic thread the tinsel or the garland.
Multimedia is a big differentiator from you and anybody else on the market.
I mean, this is a scrap T-shirt there was 15 cents worth of ink. All right.
Right.
A number that is not pronounceable worth of spangles.
Spangles are incredibly profitable, so it didn't cost anything.
And if there's a dime worth of thread, the most expensive component of this whole thing is probably the backing. We got to use backing here, and I'm going to use a backing on the back of the sweatshirt.
Yeah.
So this is literally from a component standpoint. If you have $1 into this entire ordeal,
it's free.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what we're going to do here in a little bit. I'll bring Sean in. He's already digitized file. Well, actually, after we've got it started sewing, we're going to jump into the software and show you how Sean took what I used. Right. First off, when we jump into software, I'll show you in the RIP software how I brought the image in and printed it. Right. We're not going to print it, but we'll show you where I went. Then Sean took the same file that I used to print, brought it into Stitch Era. He's going to do that and just real quickly generate the graphics that we added. We actually sew on some Christmas ornaments. We sew on the star, as well as we do an outline tack down and with a nice satin stitch on it. It's actually pretty impressive. The one that we did way ahead of time, about 6/28, to to make sure this absolutely worked. Came out pretty good.
Yeah.
So
So I just want to point out that the whole purpose of doing this is to set yourself apart from the crowd
right.
and to make more money. It's not just a neat technique that you can do because you have equipment. It's because it's more profitable to do this.
And you know, when you offer something to people, a lot of the people aren't going to come to you and ask you, hey, could you print a Christmas tree on a T-shirt for me and then cut it out and then applique it to a sweatshirt with some really cool stuff happening to it. They're not going to do that. But you show it to them, all of a sudden they go bing, 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 bing. I'd like to do this with this. Maybe we can apply this to other things outside of the holiday season as well. Applications that, you know, it's endless. You could do photographs on it that you can do frames on that are embroidered and whatnot.
It's a great technique for bags and carries.
Awesome. Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk embroidery first, all right? Let's talk about the machine itself. Move this out of the way. And this is the Avancé 1501C. It is our basically starter. I hate to use the word starter because it makes it sound like it's not much machine, but it's what most people start out with in the commercial embroidery industry. Is a single head, compact 15 needle. It is the standard of the industry. And no, we didn't copy other people's names for the machines. In the embroidery industry, almost everybody you talk to, if you're starting into the business, is going to be talking to you about a 1501C. 15 needles, one head. C stands for compact. Compact means that basically, this is the pantograph, means it travels outside of the frame of the body, which very often you don't get out there. So there's no need to have all that extra space that a standard machine would have.
Right.
All right. So it is a 15 needle. You can see right here, and it is a single head. It means so it's one item at a time, and it's compact. Benefits of this machine from a startup business standpoint: number one, the footprint's relatively small. It is on a stand, but if you have a sewing room or something already set up, you can actually just run it straight off the stand. It's not attached to the stand per se, and the machine is all self-contained.
And you can actually roll it right into a closet. It's
absolutely.
Really that small.
You know, a lot of folks, because a lot of our customers are women who've been in embroidery for quite a while, doing it with a sewing machine, a high-end sewing machine, or a low-end home embroidery machine. And so you can just put this in your sewing room, and when you're ready to embroider, you roll it out, because there are casters. You want to show them the casters on the market? Going to roll it forward so they don't throw up.
I'll just go down.
Look down here. We've got the casters on.
And Crocs.
And we have Crocs.
Yeah.
In case anybody
Thanks for showing us that.
Right.
Okay.
All right. We have the casters and the cards all here. That's all included with the machine.
Right.
All right. So anyway, so it's very portable. It's small. I have a lot of customers who take these type of things. They'll go to to county fairs. They go to events. Whatever your passion is. It could be a dog show, horse show. It could be, you know, Star Wars stuff. Wherever your passion is, you can take this and go to an event. Pop this off of the stand, sit it in the back of your SUV, sit the stand in next to it, take it to an event. Easy to transport.
But even though it's small, it does have a big embroidery field.
It's a huge embroidery field. You know, if you've looked into embroidery, most compact machines are about an 11 by 18 sew field. We're going to grab some of the hoops back. All the hoops except for the one we're going to be sewing on. This is the Mac Daddy. This is the largest sewing field. It's roughly a 15 by 21 inch sewing field that you would use oftentimes incorporated with the table, which is back here behind me. And that would be for a really heavy item, like if you're sewing a blanket or something that just had a lot of weight, and that way the table bears the weight. Then you have 4 different sizes of shirt front hoops, 9, 12, 15, and 21 centimeter. You get 2 of each of those. And then the jacket back hoop, which this one's occupado at the moment.
Right.
This is a 12 by 12 jacket back hoop. You're going to get 2 of those as well. All right.
And you use those a lot.
We use these a lot, you know, especially if you don't want any jacket or you don't want large fronts of sweatshirts or a lot. The really big hoop, a real common application of that would be doing patches.
Yeah.
You know, so you can get out the patch material that Coleman and Company sells, and you can lay out multiple patches, and you can embroider on the patches. You may do 12 patches at a time. Unload it, pop it in, and get it going again. Then you start working with cutting out the patches and putting the adhesive on the back.
So Don just pointed out 2 things that are a big difference between your high-end consumer machines and the Avancé is, number 1 is the embroidery field size, and number 2 is all those hoops.
All those hoops. You know, if you buy, you know, the B machines, let's just say that, any of the major B machines, they're going to come with 3, maybe 4 hoops, 1 of each size, right? And no really gargantuan hoops. Most of them are going to charge you extra. You know, I didn't even mention, we include the cap driver.
Right.
You know, this is the cap driver included with it that allows you to do caps and your cap frames. You see we have a cap right here hooped up. All right, you can have the cap frame. This is what's called a 270-degree cap frame, which means I can sew from basically this point to this point.
Yeah.
All right, and so those are included. You get 2 of the cap frames as well, and a little hunky thing here that I will run into here before the night is over. It's called the hooping gauge.
Right.
Generally, you're not going to be on this side of the machine when you're running it. When you are doing a video on it, however, you hear a lot. Well, this is called the ouch sometimes.
Hey,
It's called a hooping gauge.
We've got our first question, and
first
that
question.
is, will it do 3D?
3D. Wow, what a coincidence, Mark. We have a 3D hat here.
What?
3D.
No
It's
way.
also
That is
3D.
crazy.
3D is also known as puff embroidery. All right. And here's an example of a puff hat we've done. Kind of easy if I angle it to the side there. You can see the puff. And that's very simple to do. One of the keys to it is having it digitized right. And how do you get around that? If most puff that you see, the majority of it is just numbers or letters. And Coleman & Company actually sells a package by Ganold, I believe it is. It's called Puffy Fonts. And what are there, Sean, 10? And there's 10 font styles in there that are pre-digitized, some of them 2 color, some 1 color, for puff embroidery.
That's where that one came from.
Yeah, this CD is just a collegiate athletic block that is already pre-digitized in 2 colors. You put the puff material down, sew through it, bang, done.
Okay, Leah's got a question. Is there a hoop size available between the 2 you just showed us?
The 2. Which 2, Leah?
Why don't you run through the sizes again?
Okay, 9, 12, 15, and 21 centimeter. You get 2 of each of those. Those are the round hoops that I showed you all initially. I buried them over here somewhere. 12 by 12, which is the one that had the sweatshirt in it, we're going to be embroidering on. And then the largest one you get 1 of, which is a 15 by 21, which is the max sewing field. I am sure there's some aftermarket hoops that are
and fast
outside
frames
of those.
you can use.
Fast frames. We sell the Durkee hoops at Coleman & Company.
Yep.
We sell the Mighty hoops, which are magnetic hoops for doing things like Carhartts and stuff like that. So that's a good question, though. But I mean, a plethora. I love that word.
Plethora.
A literal
It is a good
plethora.
word.
You get 11 hoops. Most of the competition that we run into on it, people are starting to look at the high-end home machines. You're going to find that you're going to get 3, maybe 4 at the most. All right, and their hoops they're happy with them. They're $75 to $150 a piece. There is not, Leah. Hey, Leah. I know Leah. She bought a machine from me.
Okay, thank you.
No, there is not. But I checked Coleman & Company, Leah. They may have
might be a Durkee.
Durkee may have a hoop size in that. I know they have some longer ones like for pant legs and stuff as well. You may want to check into that. All right. Any other questions specifically about the machine? I mean, I can go ahead. Let's rattle off the
Memory.
and that things like machine's got 2 megs or 2 million stitch memory, and it's going to hold up to 200 designs. It has obviously 15 needles. It has the ability to do. It has an applique mode, as you'll see we're going to have in here. So we have the ability to tell it to stop after a color, and it'll do an offset where it actually brings it out for it to put the applique down. All of that's standard with the machine. If you're coming into this from the home marketplace, I'll say I will lead to say thank you and hi to me. You have it has auto trimming upper, it has auto trimming, has upper and lower thread break detection. So what will happen is we get a thread break, the machine stops moving. Its wheels right here spin as thread is being pulled. All right. If we run out of bobbin, or if a bobbin hangs up, which it has a tendency to do during webinars, so I can slap Sean. Trust me, Sean comes in before a webinar anymore, and he puts a new bobbin in twice before the webinar just to make sure. But if you get a thread, hang up with the bobbin, they happen. Sometimes the bobbin just wound too tight and won't pull. If the bobbin runs out, it's going to stop the machine. It'll stop pulling as well. All right. So that's something that's automatic. Automatic thread trimming, automatic color changes.
Yeah.
All these things that we kind of take for granted. If you come from a home place where you have like a single needle machine, you don't have trimming, basically. You have jump stitches all over the place that you're sitting there trimming out after every job. So all that is all handled in the machine itself. All right. I think that about covers the machine. Sews up to 1,200 stitches per minute. You realistically don't run the machine that fast, just like your car. Mark's car will do almost 75. It was one of the most powerful Pintos sold that year.
It's the only 2-cylinder Honda still on the road.
That's right.
As long as it's fully charged.
Somebody's asking about stitching on golf bags or bags do not fit between the 2 base arms. Golf bag, you're pretty much not going to do it. It's way too heavy. Unless you want to sit there and babysit it as it goes back and forth, you're only going to be able to do a small area because it's such a big item and it's round. If it doesn't fit between the arms here, use a table. Use a table to bear the weight. Either that or you're going to have to babysit it.
Sean's
Right.
got a suggestion.
Yes.
Well, if they can take the pocket off the golf bag like you can a softball
Right.
bag,
Yes.
you shall be able to sew it.
Yeah,
that
if you
way.
sew if you're talking about sewing on the pocket, like Sean said, just remove the pocket and sew it and then put it back on when you're done. All right. And when you talk, you can't. I mean, those are generally done prior to assembly.
Construction, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
that's-
cut and sew application. It's
yeah.
not a,
Now, here's a thought. If you want to embellish that golf bag, do a patch,
yeah.
and then you get one of the like the little hand heat press, like you used to use as a kid back when you were doing crafts,
Press it on.
and then you could press it right on, and then you give them the embroidery, but it's actually a patch it's on. I would believe that in a lot of cases that's the case of what
Or
they've
do it with
done.
Spangles.
That's a good
That makes
idea.
sense? Okay.
All right.
Spangles.
They do with golf with Pro Spangle. All right. So
Details?
it pretty much covers the machine itself. We'll get into the software in a little bit. As
Please, sir.
we're getting ready now, we're going to do the actual applique so it can get sewed. It's about a 12 to 15 minute sew out. So we want to go ahead and get it started so it's finished up before we're done here. We can show you at the end. We thought it was fitting. You know, we're a week and a half from Christmas. Not even a week and a half.
Don't
Wow.
remind me. Don't remind me.
Christmas is next Friday, right? So what Sean's done is he's already loaded the shirt in. All right. What we're going to do is when you do applique, there's basically two things that it's going to do. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to do a target. You know, it's a placement stitch. What Sean is doing is he's running right now. Let me have my tree. He's doing basically an outline of the tree so that we know where to place it. All right. And what he's going to do is the machine's going to stop at that point, and it's got what's called an offset. It's going to come out so we can place the tree down. So he's going to go ahead and sew that. While he's sewing that, I'm going to go over and I'm going to spray some spray tack on this so that it'll hold to the garment until we get it stitched down. So Sean, take it away.
Now, one thing, if you're not already an Avancé owner, that you will notice is how quiet the machine is. It really is one of
Does
the
it smell like
one of the most quiet on the market.
What I did is I actually, where's the camera? Oh, here's the camera.
Yeah.
I've actually put spray tack on there. You maybe if we had sniff-o-vision, you could smell it.
You can. It
Um,
smells like
It smells like Elmer's glue gone aerosol. All right. So now we tilt that down a little bit. All right. As you can see here, we've actually done the outline. I'll let Sean take this from me. Glue on. We've done the outline of the tree. Sean, as carefully as he can, is going to place it in that.
Let me see if I can get a
Now,
view here.
part of this is because we do a tack down, which is a satin stitch, which is a fairly wide stitch. It's going to cover up any human Sean errors in the placement of it. We did use the spray tack, so, you know, as you can see right now, this is actually pretty snug to it. Tighten it up a little bit. We found out when we went to do our test run, you need to press a little bit more because it did move a little bit on us. It did. But you would just buy spray tack. I believe they sell it at Coleman Company, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they do.
Spray away. Spray tack is what we used on this. It's like a screen printer would use.
Yep.
It's also what I attached the backing to the actual print itself with. What we're doing is we're starting out, we're sewing down the actual bucket at the bottom of the Christmas tree. And I don't know if you can see what it's doing. Can you zoom down there closer? What he did is he did a quick zigzag stitch. It's called a tackle throw stitch, isn't it? Yeah, tack down stitch, which is a wide V. Wide V. And they're going, where are my hands? My hands are over here. And then he's coming back and he's hitting it with a satin stitch right now. All right? It's actually pretty cool because now you're getting a sweater with a three-dimensional effect to it. I almost made Sean's head explode. I told him I wanted the star and the ornaments to be puffed. We decided, you
didn't want to go for that?
didn't want to go for the puff. A little bit too much overload at that point to try to do. But
get
you
a-
certainly could do it. mean, that's another idea. Like I said, instead of doing the spangles, you could have taken metallic thread and used that to do the garland on it.
Correct.
You could have done all kinds of different things. You know, you're wanting to do this for a friend who is a football fan. You know, you could have taken and put a Redskins logo in an ornament type of thing, right?
Yep.
All right, so that's going to come back and it's going to do we're going to do the green. All right, let that sew. Questions?
Okay, so I think your question, Michelle, is using a very old Toyota embroidery machine. Yes, they used to make, they didn't make cars, they made embroidery machines instead, and gets a lot of bird's nests. I wonder if this newer machine has the same kind of issues, I think.
Well, usually a bird's nest it deals with tension. Whether the top tension's too loose, that the bobbin tension's too tight, it's just pulling so much thread down below that it's just causing the bird's nest.
Right.
One thing I would look at to see if it's one needle or if it's with multiple needles. If it's just strictly just one needle, I would go ahead and just tighten down the top tension. If it's multiple, I would go ahead and loosen the bobbin.
So let me do a little commercial here for purchasing a new versus a used embroidery machine.
Yes.
Is because the Avancé now is probably significantly less money than what you spent originally on your Toyota.
Okay.
It's a great quality machine, and you get guys like Sean on the other end of the phone to help.
Yes.
Because you do get unlimited tech support when you purchase one of the Avancé.
So it's running this actual pack.
Sorry,
What?
Michelle bought that.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Michelle, the expected lifetime of them is 7 to 10 years. So you've done really good with
Right.
that. That's actually, and I'm not being facetious, that is a testimony to Michelle for how well she's taking care of her machine.
We'd be happy to have you as an Avancé customer.
That's exactly right. Of course, I'll be retired by the time you're telling the
You
new
do
guy,
the upgrades, right?
that new guy who does the
I've
videos.
had that Avancé for 27 years.
That's right. Cool. We're about done right now with the tack down on the outside. And then it'll come back and it'll start doing our zigzag around the outside, doing a satin stitch. Looks pretty good. Like I said, there is a little bit of a play in this. So we've done a pretty wide satin just to make sure. You know, you could try to tighten it up a little bit. Man, we started out with the JPEG.
Yeah.
Right? Which means there's going to be a little bit of slop there. We're importing it in 2 different programs. If you were going to do this classically, I would have probably vectorized this file, right? And that way the outlines were specific. But I think it's coming out pretty good as it is.
Okay. Did you want to show software or
Yep.
what's that?
Yeah, what we'll do, let's just, the puppy sew, you want to, I guess we don't need to worry about the camera. Let's leave the camera on that. We'll put it there when we come back. So we're going to show you right now, I'm going to start off by showing you the image I work with on the rip, and then we'll have Sean jump up, and he will show you what he did with that graphic as well. You should be seeing the computer screen about now. Hopefully you are. I mean, basically we went up online, and one of my technicians, Bill Snyder, actually found a graphic that was literally a shareware. All right, so I'm going to go over here, and I know where I put it in, and this is my image right here. I'm going to go ahead and import that image just to be, hopefully it's still on here. Nope, it was on my thumb drive. So I'm just going to pull up. This is the image I brought up. And this is what it was. All right, this is the graphic image I printed out. Okay, and I printed it out on the, like I said, an old white T-shirt. I then passed this file over to Sean, and Sean will show you what he did next. All I did was just print this. See that the DTG part of it was pretty straightforward. But then Sean is going to show you in the Stitch era and the Hotfix era software. Sean just got fired. I'm sorry.
I need the image.
He said no. You don't have the image anymore?
You said you would save it for me again.
So, you want me to get the image? Let me see if I've got it on the computer. Welcome to live TV. If not, I can go grab a thumb drive off my desk while Sean starts showing you the basic
It's right
software.
there.
Was it there? Oh, it's on the front
On the
screen.
desktop. Right there.
There it is.
There's a Christmas tree.
There it is. Windows photo reader. Yep. Sean has it.
Let me
So
see
Sean, take it to town.
All right. Let's go ahead and see.
Great job, Leah. Leah just got her machine last week. She digitized and sewed out her first 2 embroidery orders last night. Hallelujah. Making money in it 2 weeks in. Did you go through training yet, Leah?
Let's get the file.
She's not responding to me. She passed out. Yep.
Online.
Online. You did the online training. All right. Great, Leah. That's awesome to hear. It's always good to hear people successful with the products we sell because I take this pretty personally that I feel like I'm partnering with y'all. That was right there that you think Sean just made go bye-bye. Right?
Bye-bye. So let's see. Let's open the image. And
I think we just had thread break. So the guy with the glass is going to go behind Sean and try to fix the thread break.
fix it. Fix it. There's the Christmas tree. So we will go ahead and once we have that in, I will let's see, lock the image so I cannot move it so it doesn't shift on me while I create my stitches. And for example, like the Christmas tree, what you want to do is you go up to embroidery, choose uniform area, but choose area with applique. So basically what we're going to do here is outline the Christmas tree. And we will go ahead and I'm going to run right in the middle of that black where it meets the green so that when the satin border comes across, it will split it and I'll have a nice even coverage on the rough edges. And you want to make sure that when you do the applique that nothing does stick out on the side. If it does, you just trim your applique a little bit more. And we'll come here.
If you hear Sean laughing, it's because I'm trying to thread a needle.
Let's see. Come right here. At this point. Bottom. Over here, we'll go this side. Corner, we'll come on the last leg.
What are you generating right now,
There.
Sean?
The area fill pattern with applique.
Gotcha.
Choose here.
So you're creating the outline of the applique itself?
That is correct. As
Right.
you can see, it is it's a tack down with a zigzag stitch. And what this will do, this will tack your applique down first, and then you'll come across with a satin border so that it covers up this stitch and the rough edges. The reason you want to put this down first is so that it tacks the applique to the garment you're using so it doesn't move or shift on you when you do put the fill stitch on top. Next I would do is I would change the color and I would choose my path, and path was a zigzag. Follow the same pattern. And you can see that's going to be my satin width. It's kind of thin, so I will come up here to 16 and we will make it 50. We'll start here and you can see the width now is a little bit thicker. So I will follow the same path. And the reason that I do it as a separate color is so that when I program it into the machine, I am going to use the first one as an applique stop and assign that in the machine so that the machine will stop, move out to the location, and allow me to place my applique. Without that, and it's the same color as the satin stitch, what happens is it will just keep sewing. You manually have to stop it, trim the thread, and go ahead and place your applique down. And by doing it this way, you're assigning it two separate colors. Even if you use the same color while you're sewing, it's always best to do it as two separate colors. Makes it a lot easier when you're programming it into the embroidery machine. Come across here. And we'll scroll up. we'll go ahead and do this. And we'll go change the node to a corner. And there's our applique tree. I will then let Don explain a little bit more.
All right. So basically what Sean has done, you see he's created the satin outline. Then he's going to come back when he gets here. He's going to actually put a star up here on the top. As I remember, I removed the star from ours because we're actually going to embroider a star, and he's going to drop some ornaments on the design as well. Yes, we did talk to Leah about how much she loves her machine while you were out, Mark.
Thank you.
Mark had to leave the room, and he didn't want to miss a shameless plug
Shameless
of our machine,
plug.
right? And what you're hearing in the background, by the way, with what Sean's doing is actually once he's rethreaded this, what you do is each time that you hit the stop button, it backs up a couple of stitches, and he's putting a new bobbin in just to be safe. It backs up a couple stitches right back to where, so you're so over the area where the sales guy screwed up.
Yes.
Right? Now, and then on this software, this could be done. This is a relatively small. How many stitches did we say this was? About 10?
10,660.
You could actually have done this on even the most entry level of the universal softwares because they go up to 12,000 stitches, I believe. Yes. It'll handle, right? All right. So you do that. Now, if you'll see here too, it's showing us our sew sequence. We initially did the red down here, which was the outline. Now he's doing this green tack down. You want to take over and put a star on the top for these folks?
Yes, I will do that.
Sorry about that, Sean.
That's okay. There's nothing that can't be fixed. So we're going to do the gold star. I'll go ahead and zoom in. And I will simply choose my uniform area pattern, choose a gold color, and change my underlay. And I'll simply just go ahead and outline my star. Now, if you look at the star is kind of, if you want the, the funky shaped star, the cartoon shape, that's all fine and dandy. Another way, what we could do is we can go to close shapes and look for a star and actually create one.
Perfect.
Take that, go to our embroidery tab, art to stitch, choose this, and voila. We now have a bright new gold star that took a matter of 3 seconds.
Bang.
To create, and we'll get rid of that. Now there's our star.
That's great.
There you go. You want to throw some ornaments on there? Let's add some ornaments.
Let's add some ornaments.
All right.
So, adding some ornaments. Once again, I'll go to my closed shapes, and I'll do a circle, a round circle.
A round circle?
Yeah, that's not really
That's the
round.
best
That's
kind?
more of an egg
Did
shape.
you answer Michelle's question about right-clicking for curves and left-clicking for straight?
Not in the software. It is holding the shift key.
Okay.
Depending on when you are digitizing. For example, we're up here. You notice you got straight, curved, and corner. If you're in straight, hold the shift key, turns to curve. If you're in curve, hold the shift key, change it to straight.
Straight. I'll get back and forth that down for me.
You're welcome, Michelle. So we'll take our one ornament here that we have. It's a little big, so we're going to go ahead and reduce the size of it. We will then go ahead and go to our embroidery, art to stitch intelligent. We'll take it, converts it, and let's say we're going to make it cardinal. And we'll copy it, paste it, and simply just keep pasting more ornaments into the design until you fill your Christmas tree up.
No idea what that one's going to be.
I grab the point instead of in the middle.
There you go.
So there we have it. As you can see over on the right-hand side, all these number 4 through number 12 are our ornaments. Let's say we wanted to take 5, 7, 9, and 11, change it from the maroon color, and we wanted purple. There we go.
You must let go of your shift key. You're.
Oh yeah, here we go. There we go.
Take those purple. And you could do this with any shape too. Like if you had an ornament shape you wanted to put on there, you could add the ornaments. Like I said, it's kind of countless. It's kind of cool because this is actually a kind of a unique approach of actually doing embroidery on top of an applique, but we're taking advantage of, there was already candy canes on the tree that we printed, right?
Yep. So we didn't need those.
And then, there was a star on the tree that we didn't want.
So we cut it off.
So we cut it off even though we'd actually printed it out, right?
And we sewed our own.
We sewed our own on top of it, or getting ready to sew our own on top of it. Any questions about the software? Let's say, you know what I'd like to do, Sean? I'd like to add to this. I'd like to put the words Merry Christmas over the, like, arced over top of it. Show the folks how we could do that.
All right. You want to do an arc above it. Use our lettering.
There you go. He's got the, pick a font. What's a good Christmassy font?
I don't know. I like Comic Sans.
All right, Comic
I'll go
Sans.
with
It'll
Comic
arc nicely as well.
Yeah. We choose Comic Sans.
And by the way, as those of you who are new to this, what I was saying there, you'll start to learn, like, you don't want to arc things like Old English,
no,
right?
it will not look good.
Yeah. So you'll start to learn which fonts arc better and which don't.
Change the size. Make it a little bit bigger. We come over here. We choose upper arc. Placing it right here. And Merry Christmas.
Bang.
Nice.
You know, what's those lines between those, Sean? I'm not a big fan of the line.
Those are our jump stitches.
All right.
So if you want to take those out, we simply highlight the text, go to our scissors,
Yep.
and add to letters.
Bang. So you're telling me it's going to trim between each of the letters.
That is correct.
Wow. You know, we're putting this on a sweatshirt. I don't know if I need that much. But I don't want to waste all the time. That's a lot. We probably wasted a minute and a half there on that design for trim. Why don't we just do it to the word level?
Let me just to the word.
There you go. So now you don't see those jumps there between the M and the E and the R, or whatever. But it would be more evident on the broad gap there between the Merry and the Christmas. All right.
Correct. Yes.
Tell you what, we are. If there aren't any more questions on the software for Sean, this is, by the way, this is Stitch Era Universal. Oh, you know what we forgot to show the folks? Pull up the hotfix. Let's do the hotfix lines real quick.
All right. We'll come up here. We'll go to Hotfix.
On the same graphic, y'all. The
Same graphic.
If you've got our brush and bake system, if you have the spangle machine, you have our rhinestone machine, you can do this. You know, he's going to do it in a number 6 stone. All right. And we just drug a line, really, literally a line. All right. This is the really hard part. This is the part that the sales guy could almost do.
Careful now.
All right. All right. That's what we did, folks. He output that design to the spangle machine.
There it is.
All right. We printed the image itself, the JPEG we got offline, on the DTG.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sean created the stitch file to go to do the applique onto the Avancé. So a bit of multitasking with our equipment. Sean was lazy, didn't do the bucket on this one.
No, I didn't.
But there you go. You get an idea of what it's going to look like. That's the embroidery part of it. And it shows you in the simulation, it also shows you the bling section of it. All right, we're getting real close here on the background. I think I want to kick Sean off the computer. And if you want, Sean, you want to roll this back over into position. We'll be able to see pretty close here where we're at. I want to turn you all off and onto the camera here. Hopefully you'll be seeing us coming back again. Here we go, yeah. I'll turn that light off and turn the light on the line. You see right now, Sean's actually sewing the ornaments themselves onto the tree. We got to be about 95% of the way done?
Yes, as you can tell here. I don't know if you can see it on the screen.
Control panel, yeah.
You've got a blue line, which is right here. It's actually filling up.
Sort of like when you're charging your cell phone, a little bar.
This is true. This is what it does.
It's showing us about, 93%, something
Yep.
like that?
And as right here, it shows it's sewn 10,000 stitches. So it roughly has about 660 stitches left, which is, of course, one ornament left.
1 or 2 ornaments left, right?
Yep.
Great. And then we're going to pull it off, but you see the applique. How hard is it? Leah, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how hard it is. Hold on. Plug, magnet. That's it. Set it right here. There's actually a plug that comes out right here behind. You can't see, right? And then if you turn it on, we won't be able to see it now, right? No. I don't know if there it is. There it is. Yeah, I didn't point it back at the needle hole. There it is, right there. You're going to point it back at the needle hole. But very easy to set up and do. You know what? Some questions down here we're hiding. Cool. Call me tomorrow if you want to order one. Very easy to do. All right, I think that's about our last stitch, isn't it, brother?
Yep, and then it pulls out, of course, to our
Sean
offset.
I really put Sean under duress, guys. Understand, like, this is a busy time of year for us, and our first priority is making sure that our customers who have the equipment are up and running, because this is when you make hay, right? This is true. All right, so we're going to take it off of the hoop. There we go. And
Get it off.
there we go. Hey! We haven't trimmed the back, but you know what? That's why we had him get it in an extra large Bubba
There we
size.
go. I like that.
I am so ready for the ugly Christmas sweater.
What do you mean ugly?
Hey,
That
that's
is
not
a-
ugly. There we
Wait
go,
a minute,
guys.
that is great.
I look good in red.
That is
That's
awesome.
I do look good in red. Any other questions about the equipment, about the process we did tonight?
Stand back so we get a better look
Yeah,
at
we
that beautiful shirt. That actually looks
That
really
looks
great.
really good. I look like
Especially when it.
I have on my bulletproof vest underneath it because we haven't trimmed it out. But no, that's what it's all about right there. Literally, we got $1 into materials, guys. If that.
And I have to be perfectly honest. I bought that sweatshirt today for $5.96 at Walmart.
At Walmart.
So
right?
now that's a $20 or $30 sweater.
Easily, you
Yeah.
know. And it took us, what, about 15 minutes, including me breaking the needle?
Yes.
All right. So any more questions for anybody here about the equipment? Anything about the software, the process we went through?
Yeah. I mean, you saw something that was printed on with a DTG printer,
Printed.
embellished with a
The
pro
blingy, bling, bling,
spangle,
bling, bling, bling.
and then applique'd with the Avancé.
Embroidery
So-
machine. Multimedia, mixed media, whatever you want to call it. Mixed media decoration just opens up whole new areas of profit potential for you that, you know, most people out there aren't doing. Most people are afraid to do it. Truth be known, I didn't do the applique or anything of this, but I'm a sales guy, all right? I came up with the idea to do this earlier this week, and we put it together in a matter of a couple hours of actually being able to do it. We found the right design. We only did one test run on this, and historically you would probably do a couple, 3 of them or something on this,
Yeah.
especially when you're doing something as inexpensive as this. And you know, look at the results we have.
Right.
And once you've got it down, you're going to get complete repeatability with it, because that tack down stitch, that initial target stitch, and placing it into that is absolutely where you go. And you're going to make up for it. You know, as you see, we use a wide. My hands are like backwards, right? You use a wide stitch here to cover up the edges, so any imperfection and placement stuff gets washed away.
Yeah, so the message here is that because you're dealing with Coldesi and Coleman and Company, if you already have the Avancé, if you already have the Pro Spangle, if you already have the Viper 2, if you have any kind of apparel decorating technology, add another one from one of us, and you can be a lot more profitable.
We have a question popped up. You know, and you don't have to go and buy a $30,000 piece of equipment. If you've got a friend, okay, Rhonda's asking, right? I don't have a DTG printer, so can I use material or felt? Absolutely. If you wanted to do this yourself with, you know, we sell patch making material.
Yeah.
All right. We have a green patch making material. You could cut out the tree. Here's the key: is you have to have a vector file or an image that you're working with for both of them. All right. So if do you have a vinyl cutter by any chance, Rhonda? You do. Great. Most vinyl cutters actually have a pen, a marker plotter in it. So you could actually take a graphic file, right? Pen plot it onto the material on the back of it, cut it out,
Yep.
take that same vector file into the software and do your applique. This is an example we did using a vinyl cutter, all right? And this is glitter vinyl, all right?
Yeah, that's a cut and press from Coleman and Company.
So
did that.
did the same thing. We appliqued that down, and then when they finish it up, they heat press it to completely finish tacking it down to the backing. So then that's another application. So instead of using a printed image, like I said, you could absolutely have done it, and then you would have just sewn on garlands, sewn on the ornaments, sewn on the candy cane, sewn everything else on that you wanted, or use glitter vinyl or something like that as well to do that. Great question.
Any other last minute questions?
I got a party to go to with an ugly
Yeah,
sweatshirt.
there you go.
Hey, thank you guys. It's been a great year. I think Mark and I have been doing this for over a full year now
Yeah.
on these webinars, and
A lot
it's
of
really
fun.
been awesome to be able to interface with you all. A lot of great questions, a lot of great. We've seen a lot of the business. The Facebook page has been awesome. We've seen
Yeah.
so many of you all responding up there on where you're growing, playing off of each other, asking each other questions, devil's advocate stuff. It's awesome. And we're looking forward to a crazy year,
Yeah.
2016. Not 25 feet from where we stand, we actually have our sound stage being built, so we won't be in the showroom all the time. Be a little bit more organized. We'll be able to do these things at the drop of a hat.
Theoretically.
And we really look forward to it. It's great seeing people like Leah and some of my other customers come up to these and seeing that they're successful as well. And we want to hear your success stories. Get on the Facebook page. Share your success stories. And if you're struggling with something, get up there. You get a lot of great peer-to-peer support.
Yep.
So thank you guys. And hey, it's that time of year. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
We look forward to seeing you all after the new year with some more webinars.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Yep. See
ya.
you later.